Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, Lunar Wing Mount, go! How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? That's what I really want to know as a druid. As CTR presents the Battlenet News! The Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is June 6, 2017, and it's now 10:15 in the p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining us from around the Blizzard universe. My name is Pat Crane. I'm the host of this Ding Dang show, and as always, the players are here, and I think they're saying that was a weak open. First up from...
You said ding dang.
Yep, I did. From Let's Do Line of Sight Gaming, it's Tattva. Hey, Tattva.
Oh, hi, Pat. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm just fine. Oh, hi. You always sound like a good Scandinavian person. Oh, hi. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
I hear it all the time in Minnesota. Welcome to the show, buddy. It's always nice to see you, and I know that we'll be talking a lot about the class mount. I'm sure.
So fancy.
And from Lords of the Storm, a podcast about Heroes of the Storm, it's Gizmo!
Hey, what's up, fellas? It's good to be back.
Nice to see you again.
Past couple weeks were interesting. A couple weeks ago, it was all about, it's poop.
Yeah, that's right.
There was poop everywhere.
Yep.
And this last week, family came in town, but you know what? I'm back. It's good to be back. Let's talk some Blizzard stuff.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. And speaking of back, it's from Well Met and the Payload podcast over on blizzpro.com. It's John Horseman. Hello, graduate.
Hello, Patrick.
That's a little extreme. That's an extreme zoom.
Hello.
That was an extreme zoom. Wow, that's wild.
Oh, that was right on the forehead. Dang it!
It was on it was like zoomed in on your hair. That was crazy.
Well, it was zoomed in on the center of my screen. That's the camera work there, Pat.
Well, nice
I
camera
I gotta
work.
fire my camera guy.
Yep, you do. Welcome, fellas, as always. And by the way, big congratulations to Johnny, and big congratulations on your engagement. Yeah! We talked about this a couple weeks ago. But that's fun, dude. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Overwatch and I are really making the commitment. I mean, Katie and I are really
right.
Katie doesn't listen to the show, I don't think. So I think we're in the clear on that one. Nobody tweet it, nobody clip it, nobody just bro me, please.
Just be cool. Just everybody be cool.
Bro code.
It's all good. But welcome back.
Thank you.
But welcome back to you and to Gizmo. Tattva is here in the trenches yet again this week, which is good. I thank you.
The burning hot trenches. Well,
or something. Well, let's take a look at see what we've been up to other than all of the fun stuff in real lives. Let's talk about gaming and Gizmo. Let's start with you. What have you been up to in your very busy life? What's been going on with your Blizzard stuff?
Oh, man. Of course, a lot of heroes. They've been putting out a lot of patch notes and doing a lot of hero reworks. So it's both a lot of time finally jumping into the season and ranked play as of late, and also spending a good amount of time in PTR, trying to figure out all these changes. They're getting crazy. And then also still spending some time in Diablo in both the the ladder, and then testing out some of the Necromancer stuff as well. So
how does the Necromancer feel?
Real good. Good. Corpse Explosion is OP, but also a super fun mechanic. I haven't really messed with any of the set bonuses yet. I have it maxed out, my character maxed out, so I need to jump in, see what specific builds I like. But I don't want to spoil it too much for when it's officially launched and climb the ladder with it.
Sure, that's understandable. And then, has there been any word on when that's going to actually launch?
Not that I have seen yet.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm just wondering if I missed something because
keep plugging stuff.
It's like I haven't been playing Diablo for a little bit, so I have a tendency not to necessarily look at the news updates as they come along. But I know that it's still kind of looming out there. I just don't know exactly how far out it is.
Yeah, there was another patch change last week where they added some stuff, but I don't believe they had an announcement date yet.
Okay, gotcha. Tattva, what's been going on with you? How's CTM doing and all those guys?
CTM's doing good. I think we talked about it last time. We got Botanist, but we had our first night on Star Augur, and we were seeing phase 3. So as soon as we keep everyone alive for that phase, it will be GG. And so I imagine Thursday we'll probably get them. And then since Tomb is upon us, we're kind of thinking that once we get Star Augur, we'll go back and get Helya for ahead of the curve for Mythic there.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. It's not ahead of the curve. But yeah, things are going good over there. Like, we were encountering all of our attendance issues still and just hemorrhaging people basically. But one of the guilds on the server, who used to be called No Big Deal, and they turned into Axis. Anyways,
Okay.
I'm not really sure their history, but we've basically been friends with a lot of them for a long time. There's a lot of raiders on our team that play with them a great deal, but their team ended up falling apart as well due to real life stuff. And they were 9 out of 10 Mythic. And so basically right around the same point, we've kind of been racing them for most of the expansion. They've been a little bit ahead. But we're basically absorbing them. So,
Cool.
Well, not all of them, but I think a good 7 or 8 players. So that'll bolster the roster up.
That's awesome, dude. That's great.
But yeah, and we had a little bit of a team meeting, but just due to like real life and all that kind of stuff, Crab people and Delkin or whatever, two of our officers, they're actually taking charge. I'm stepping down as lead of that team, so I'm gonna be one of the boys now again. It'll be great.
Hey,
I won't have to worry about anything.
That's good. You know, every once in a while you gotta reassess and figure stuff out and make sure you're doing what's good for the team. And I've been in that position myself where I was like, you know what, I need to take a break. I'm getting busy or whatever the case may be. And you know, you always have to be able to. You got to be ready for change. And I think that especially when you're a raid leader, you have to really be more aware of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think overall it's going to be a better move for the team because I love playing the game and I like playing at a high level. Right. But my issue is I love leading a team. I love encounters. I love figuring out strats and all that kind of stuff. But my issue comes in, I would like everyone to be able to play. And for a high-end Mythic team that has to say no to people, that's not very conducive sometimes. So they'll actually be able to push CTM to new heights and stuff as far as progression goes and stuff. And they'll lead it in the proper manner of a semi-hardcore team, because I'm at heart, I'm just there to have fun and play the game and enjoy the people.
And if you take a look at Convert to Mythic as a raid team, it's had a few fairly large changeovers over the. How long has it been around? A couple of years now, something like that.
Since I think right before Hellfire came out.
Yeah.
So
it's been so Hellfire was 20 years. And then so it's been like a couple of decades. It's nice. So it's been around for a while and it's definitely had its changeovers in leadership. And that's kind of one of those things where I think that, if our listeners may like to hear stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, you know what? A team can change its leadership and have it still go strong and have it still be a thing and be okay. So
yeah, I think I mean, even as well, like, I mean, all the players on CTM and who've been there. I mean, Giz was on the team for a long time and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting because it's probably on average the oldest team I've been on. I mean, there's a bunch of young people there. Like I'm grandpa almost. There are a few people older than me, but whatever.
Sure.
I still like to pretend that I'm a grandpa. But anyways,
and you go, "You kids, get off my lawn." That
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the thing is like the quality of player and just how invested they are in the game and all that kind of stuff. Like any one of the players on the team could lead it. You know, it's that's legit. You know, and a lot of people on the team have led guilds and raid teams in the past and stuff. And so I don't know. I think it's a kind of a cool. It will be a good mix up, I think, for everyone.
Well, and especially when you get to that level, I think that you find that a lot of people have either led raid teams or know a great deal about what it takes to lead that type of stuff. So, but that's cool, man. I'm glad that you're finding you're reassessing and all that kind of good stuff. So.
So Crab and Dell are finally, they're going to be able to tell you, Tattva, no, we can't carry you this week. We need the best players on the team for progression.
Ooh, yeah, there is that.
It's going to be sweet.
Wow.
You're going to shoot me down.
Wow. Yeah.
Those jerks. Freaking Crab.
Those
Freaking
jerks.
Crab.
Those jerks. Johnny, what's been happening in your worlds?
Well, it's been a crazy month. I got engaged.
Yeah.
I graduated and I moved.
Oh, that's right. You also moved.
All within the same 2 weeks. So it's been kind of nuts. But the remaining 60 hours of my week that I didn't need for that was invested into Overwatch. And so I've been playing that a ton. Apparently I like to be verbally abused because that's all matchmaking is right now, is just jerks in voice chat. It's so bad. But it's, you know, I still like, I have so much fun playing it.
I do.
I don't know why.
I do too.
So it's like, yeah. I've been doing that. And
so how are you doing in competitive mode?
Doing pretty good. Up to diamond on one account, and then on my like Smurf account that I like play new ones. I'm gonna try to see how high I can take it. And so, I've been doing that, and I've got some new and exciting things, hopefully, in the pipe for some more just like Overwatch styled content. So we'll have to see. It should be pretty exciting if everything goes to plan, which it never does. So expect to be the last that you hear about this.
I've been playing a lot of arcade mode. Just a ton of arcade.
Oh, so you don't want to be good on the game?
I love arcade mode. There's something about especially like the 6v6, like there's the super arcade mode where it's like all the cooldowns are like nothing.
Mayhem, yeah.
And then there's the one where you get mystery heroes.
Yep.
And
which is like any normal competitive game these days.
I was playing mystery heroes. I was so frustrated because every hero that popped up was a hero that I hadn't played in a while. And so I had like no practice whatsoever on them. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm dead. Never mind. I'm going to respawn as somebody else that I hate. It was just horrible. Like everything. I didn't get one character that I thought, well, I was like, oh, now I'm in my home. Never.
Pat purposely dies until he gets Junkrat.
That's right.
And then goes out and gets killed.
That's right. He's
playing Junkrat.
I got Ana like 5 or 6 times. That's not a problem. As long as you like Ana. And I know that there are plenty of people out there that like Ana. I'm not one of those guys. But
have you played on the new map yet?
No, I haven't.
It's so cool. There's a part of the map where you go out. It's the Horizon Lunar Colony. And you go outside, and it's kind of like a side part of the map. So it's not something you purposely run into. But you're outside on the moon, and they greatly reduce the gravity.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun.
Can you float off the map from
That'd
there?
be awesome.
I don't think so. I think Invisi Walls take care of that.
That'd be cool, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's like I can already see all the YouTube Widowmaker trick shots where, she uses her hook, jumps up in the air and just slow motion.
Oh.
Looking down, boom. Yeah.
Right.
It's
the classic movie shot. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Hey, a couple of things before we get into the news part of the show. First up, I want to talk a little bit about Gathering Storm Tournament. And Shark is very, very sick right now. He has the cold that I had last week, I'm guessing, and I still have this week. I don't know if you can tell. And I'm still kind of coughing. Sorry about last week's show. I was coughing all over it. I was like, oh, can I edit this out? I don't know. And then I got very, very tired. So let me cough again.
So speaking of which,
right. So Gathering Storm Tournament was this last weekend, and Tattva, you were a part of that, right?
Oh yeah, CTM had a team. The chat from last week's show actually named our team the Burning Region.
Right. Yes. Chat room, you named the team Burning Region, and how did you guys fare?
Well, the first round we took it 2-0 because the other team didn't show up.
Yay!
Yep. So high performance from our team there, and then the second round we actually did play. It was actually a really fun little best of 3. We took the first game, the other team took the second, and then we ended up taking the third. But the third and final game was like back and forth. It was one of those where they basically made the call to go for the core. We respawned, wiped them out, and then went and killed their core. And so it was one of those ones. So it was a lot of fun. And
cool.
Yeah, everyone on the team did really good. And then we ended up smashing face first into adults with jobs.
Right.
And the problem there was Shark played the first 2 rounds. So Shark organized this whole tournament.
Yeah.
He plays the first couple rounds with adults with jobs who he played with, a few years ago and all that kind of stuff. They proceeded on to join the chair league, and I think the highest league. They were ranked in the highest league for a few seasons. They might have gotten knocked down a peg the last one, but don't remember. Anyways, a bunch of good players.
Yeah.
But Shark was playing with them, and I was super excited because that was going to be our whole strategy, was just to kill him over and over, ignore everything else, just don't soak lanes, don't do anything, just kill Shark.
Right.
Nonstop. That was going to be we would have lost very quickly, which we did anyways.
But it would have been fun, right? I mean, it would have been one of those things where you go, hey, let's just put it this way. We killed Shark probably about 20 times.
That's a win.
That is as good of a win as we can get. That's perfect, because Adults with Jobs is a really good team. They are.
Yeah, they're
a
strong team, but yeah, he had to go cast or something, and then they had their little. They went back to their normal chair league team, which was just oh, well, this just got even worse for us.
Right.
Anyways, but we kind of did a troll round pick the first game where we picked 4 tanks and a healer. That didn't fare well at all.
Right.
And then we actually played a normal game, and it was pretty close until they just decided to not let it be close anymore.
Right.
They can do that. And then the third game was Dell and Envin picked Cho'Gall, jerks.
Oh, nice.
So that ended up being a troll round too.
I love Cho'Gall, and I hate Cho'Gall. But mostly I love Cho'Gall because there's just I don't know. It's just all sorts of chaos.
There are some fantastic Cho'Gall duos out there, like the the guys over at Heroes of Fitness play fantastic Cho'Gall. So it can be done.
Nice.
But so you could say Adults with Jobs was the ointment to your burning region. They cured it.
Well, don't.
Check it out.
Let's not.
Thanks for having me,
I
pal.
don't
See
know.
you next week.
Let's not
Bye.
go there. Let's not go there.
Might have made it worse. Who
Cleared it
knows?
up.
But yeah, that's the thing is like organizing those tournaments. Like, shout out to Shark for setting that up and talking to a whole bunch of different communities and getting casters and all that kind of stuff. Like, I play a lot of HOTS, and I'm just usually playing by myself, YOLO queue, just because I like the game for the most part. But it's the very first time I've ever actually done a tournament situation competitively, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not I'm not a big time competitive HOTS player or anything like that, but that being said, it would be something of interest to look into in the future. Like there's a lot of leagues set up like Chair League or whatever, where there's a whole bunch of different skill levels and stuff where they break people up into, and they just try to keep the games competitive. And so, I mean, if you like HOTS, like pursue it. Like try to put together a team. It is a lot of fun. It's intense, and the hype around it and stuff. It's a good time. So yeah, thanks Shark for setting that up.
Yeah,
Very well
exactly. And by the way, so the deal with the Gathering Storm tournament is that yes, it was all set up, and yes, the teams have mostly played, but the finals have not happened yet. The finals are actually going to happen on Sunday, this Sunday, at they think 7 p.m. Eastern. That's what I got from Shark. He was like, "We think we're doing this. We got to set some stuff up and whatever, make sure it's cool with people." But they're thinking it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. And for more information, and it's going to be adults with jobs versus Accidental Beast Step, which is a team from the Frog Pants stuff. So there's still a chance that Shark will shave his head.
Yeah, I'm in a tough spot. It's like, do I want to root for our community, or do I want to root for Shark shaving his head? It's a tough spot.
And the great thing is that if he is playing for he is the master of his own fate right here. So if he loses the game, which could happen, never know, then he will lose his all the hair on his face, on his head.
We're still working on the eyebrows.
Yeah,
we're
probably
still
not
working
the
on the
eyebrows.
eyebrows.
I don't know if you want to go full Pink Floyd on it. Do you?
Well,
do you want to go?
Is he actually going to play the finals?
Wall?
I think.
I don't know.
I think he's casting.
He's casting, right?
Oh, is he casting?
Which would be even better if they're losing and he's casting to see if he starts getting nervous.
See if he starts yelling at him and all that kind of stuff. That'd be great.
What I want to do right now is just like Adults with Jobs. They're a great team. I have no idea about the B-Step people. I'm sure you're great. Made it to finals. That's awesome.
Sure.
But Retrofunk, Nats, Randy. I can't remember the other names of the people on Adults with Jobs. Assert your dominance in the first 2 games. Just win them.
What else is it?
And then throw it. Like you've played with Shark. You know Shark.
Right.
Make him shave himself, please.
Oh wow.
Just throw the game.
Make him shave himself.
Make it happen.
That's a great quote. So that's going to be happening on Sunday. Welcome back, John. And if you want to follow more on Twitter, if you want to figure out exactly when this thing is going to happen, you can follow him on Twitter, and it's at GS Tournament on Twitter. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the CTR Party Kickstarter.
Party. Sorry.
Right. Exactly.
That was way delayed. It's
Delayed.
been a week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's no problem. But we are now 78% funded, which is awesome. That's great. So we're getting there. We still have.
Someone please gift that, by the way.
We still have a few weeks left, and just to let you know a little bit about it. I know that we talked about it last week, kind of ad nauseum, but we have a bunch of new gear. We have the community coloring book, which is really, really cool. This here, I have a picture of it that I could throw up for the video. But it's this adult style coloring book, and I know that everybody kind of laughs when I say adult style, but I'm like, well, it's not like a kid's coloring book. It's like, it's for adults. So it's not that it's adult style. It's adult style coloring book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, you're just digging deeper.
I know. I'm doing that for.
It's G-rated.
I'm doing that for effect.
Fun.
But it's great community artists like Fabelina, Scott Johnson, Zoe Zazu, Sepish, and many, many more. And it's almost like 20 pages of coloring book, and it's really cool. And I think that a lot of people will like it. And all the funds go to help raise money for the CTR Party, which is November 3rd. It's the Friday of BlizzCon. Not only will we have the party
Party.
in Anaheim. Thank you. In the Anaheim Hilton Ballroom. But we will also be broadcasting that as a live stream on Twitch. So you'll be able to see all of that stuff. And the cool thing about the live stream, if you guys aren't going to the Hilton, is that Cuddles, one of our community guys, he's going to be talking to everybody. Lots of podcasters, lots of community people, lots of CTR guild members, developers as they come in, maybe some pro players here and there. I know it's happened every single year, and he talks to dozens of people. It's like a 5-hour live stream, and he's just talking to people the entire time. So it's pretty cool. So even if you're not going to BlizzCon, you can go check out the live stream and see who's there, and maybe see some cool stuff. So that's always good. And if you want to help fund this thing, go to converttoraid.com/party.
Party.
Yeah, thank you. And check out the video, check out all the different tiers, check out all the different artists that are available. I know that we've sold out on several of them, but there's still some availability. And check out those t-shirts, especially if you're part of the CTR Guild. You may want one. That's all I'm saying. So, on to the news. It's news time. And we'll start out with Warcraft, because why not? 7.2.5 is coming. And I think we can all say, yeah! And as we now know, 7.2.5 is coming on June 13th, most likely. With 99% certainty, right?
That's next week.
I know, it's next week. And the World of Warcraft website has a little bit of a spoiler. It's just a little bit of a spoiler, though. It's not really a spoiler, because I think that there's a trick to it. Because we have a new scenario with 7.2.5, and it's called the Deaths of Chromie scenario. And Tattva?
Or little Chromie.
This looks like a tricky little scenario, doesn't it? I mean, do you know? Can you describe it for the audience out there?
Well, she's just basically, Chromie's bronze dragonflight. She's taking you back through time and experiencing some kind of bad encounter she's had in the past or had to redo. Take that mulligan a couple times. But yeah, it's a timed situation, and I don't know. I'm interested to see how hard it will be to complete, or if they're going for a challenging thing or just a more fun thing. I know a few of the people that I've watched do it, they failed. So maybe that's just because it's just such a new thing or whatever, and they didn't know what was going on. But
sure. Well, and this is
interesting.
This is what they say on the website. If you offer to help Chromie, she will send you forward in time to the moment of her death, then work backwards in the forwards to make the now move forward in the right direction, which is not backwards, but needs to be forwards in the right version of forward.
Yes.
So that's the tricky thing with Chromie. So I'm guessing it's like you see how Chromie dies, then you try to prevent that.
Multiple times.
And then you see how Chromie dies again because you change things, and then you try to prevent that, and then all that kind of stuff. It seems like a lot of work.
Flashpoint scenario.
I am not that invested in Chromie. I really
What? Chromie's adorbs.
Chromie is way adorbs, little gnomish, but it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. Gnome means gnome. That's all I'm saying. I'm just
she's not just a gnome. First off, she's not a gnome. She's of the bronze dragonfly.
Yeah.
And she protects the timelines. It's very important. And she's super fun to play in Heroes. But it's kind of a morbid little scenario here. I'm interested in seeing how many times you have to watch her die. And in what different ways. It reminds me of the what's the Seth MacFarlane movie, 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, or 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but for those of you that don't like gnomes, I mean,
Might be a good
scenario
thing.
for you.
Right.
But she keeps such a positive attitude about things.
She really
How-
does.
Hard not to like her.
He really does. Yeah. So that'll be coming next week, and that'll be kind of interesting. And that will lead up to the week before the Tomb of Sargeras opens up, which is on June 20th, as we know. So again, big applause for that. I'm looking forward to this new raid, fellas. I'm looking forward to some new stuff. It's been a while. It's been when did this one come out? Nighthold? Beginning of the year,
Yep.
right?
January? February?
Yeah, January sometime.
I think it was January.
So it's been about 6 months, and we know that this is that raids have about a 6-month lifespan, according to the developers. And speaking of which, we had the lead encounter designer, Morgan Day, no longer Ian Hazakostas, because now he's the big guy. He's the big cheese over there. So now we have a new lead encounter designer, Morgan Day, and he did the rounds this last week. He talked to Sloot and Bellular and Vanian.eu and talked all about raids and raid design, dungeons, and so on and so forth. Fellas, anything catch your ear on this stuff? What actually? What
Yes.
I want his job.
Well, yeah,
That caught my ear.
of course that. Gizmo, what caught your ear?
We got another raid boss. I mean, of course we have another raid
Yeah,
boss.
we have
another
we have
elevator
9.
boss.
We have 9 of them. Yes.
yeah.
Wait, hold on a
including
sec.
an
Hold on a
elevator
sec.
boss.
For that, you get.
Dork of the week.
There we go. Okay.
There it is. But yeah, the elevator boss is back. When was the last time we had one of those? The
So not Bastion of Twilight. It was the other one. Was it Cataclysm, the one leading to Onyxia and what's his name?
in Nefarian.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't remember. Blackwing's Lair?
Yeah.
No, Nefarian's Lair. I don't know, one of
BWD.
those.
BWD.
That was
Blackwing's
it. Blackwing's
Descent.
Descent.
So,
So,
I mean-
I'm interested to see what Go ahead.
Off
Tattva.
of that point, though, like Blackhand had an elevator. We went up, though, but it still managed to kill people. You remember that?
right.
Like, you
Yeah,
people
people
like
going through
lag
the
out
floor.
and it'd
It's-
leave you behind. And
Well, either you would lag out or you would slip in the cracks and fall down.
yeah.
But that wasn't so
That
bad. That wasn't as big of an elevator boss as BWD was, though. Because
Yeah,
that one you could like fly off, and you saw priests doing it all the time, like slow falling people off of there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
this was like if you got to the edge and it started moving down right as you were walking on, you were going to miss it and die.
Right.
So you got to tiptoe your way on. So we'll see what that's like. But they talked about the raid order.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a first boss, the Goroth, must be defeated first. Then you can go through the Naga Wing, where you'll be able to choose from some fights. And then he was talking about moving on to the Night Elf Wing. And then once you complete that, you'll be able to move through the Maiden of Vigilance, Fallen Avatar, and kill Jaden. Once you place all of the pillars, you'll be able to fight, kill Jaden. So
Right. All those different pillars that we've been collecting this whole time.
and keeping
So-
them nice and polished in Dalaran.
Yes, in the underbelly of Dalaran. So it's pretty cool, and so there's a whole Naga wing. If you ever, I didn't even know that they had wings, the Naga.
Yeah.
I thought it was all fins.
So maybe they do have pants. They have wings. They might as well have pants as well.
Sure.
Just unzip and 2 legs come out. And,
Right. I don't know.
All right. Sorry,
I
that's
don't
my WoW contribution for the week.
Yeah. Anything else that caught your? I mean, a lot of the stuff seems kind of. A lot of the stuff was kind of high level. I do think that people should check out all these different interviews because they are pretty interesting. They all kind of come up with their own spin on different things. And it's kind of fun to listen to how environment is going to play a role in raiding, especially with a couple of these bosses. One of them is going to be the floor is going to turn into pieces, essentially that can fall out from under you, which is reminiscent of Lich King, kind of.
Yep.
A little bit more complicated, but sure. Anything else, Tattva? Are there any mechanics that people really need to watch out for Tomb of Sargeras at all? I mean, I
all of them,
right? All of them.
No,
but anything that stands out to
I
you?
mostly avoid it.
Like that's kind of what an encounter is based off, right?
Right.
Like that's
No,
how
but I
you
mean,
have to kill the boss. You have to...
anything special, unusual, super.
The one thing that
cool?
the one thing that they weren't very explicit about, like really didn't go into a lot of detail, and I've kind of avoided actually watching strats on it. But what they termed the fog of war. For the Kill Jaden fight. I mean, that gets my mind racing or whatever, just those terms. Like, and they say that you're supposed to be able to work with your team to try to help each other out to know where they need to go or something. And so, I mean, from that description, it seems like there's going to be a lot of blind action going on where you have like a group of 5 people over in this other room and something's about to happen and they need to warn the other team of 5 people that are over here, something's coming, or you need to move here. You need, who knows what it's going to be. Like they didn't really talk about it too much, but that sounds extremely exciting.
And it could be kind of like they've been doing some things with PvP, the PvP brawls and stuff. And one of the things that they've done is add in this fog effect where you can only see about 10, 20 feet in front of you, and then it's done. And that's an interesting effect. And if that's the case, man, that could be really cool in a fight, especially when you have to spread out into teams or whatever. That could be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's been a while. I mean, it's hard just because everyone's always trying to progress, always trying to kill a new boss and stuff. And it's kind of hard to take a step back and look at how the encounters have kind of been. But for the most part, it kind of feels like it's gotten to this point where, you're just trying to do as much damage or healing as you can while avoiding some certain things from killing you. And as far as like working together as a team, beyond the healers heal, DPS, you guys DPS and not die, and then tanks do the tanking job. Like beyond that and dodging some things that kill you, like there hasn't been something that's like really pushed the teamwork aspect of a raid situation.
And I think
like really
I think Morgan actually talked about some of that stuff. So Morgan, he was talking about he wanted to push the teamwork level a little bit more, and he wanted to make sure that another thing he wanted to build up was kind of this understanding of what game mechanics meant, or what this circle on the ground means. Right. So
the readability.
Yeah. So when you see something happen, essentially what the effect is going to be. And so kind of being able to tell people, communicate better within the raid, I think, as far as what these different abilities do and stuff. So so that's kind of cool.
The Fog of War sounds like it's gonna be super fun and looking for a group. Kidding.
Right.
But no, these new mechanics are as cool. Of course, we see kind of new mechanics pop up here and there.
Sure.
But I mean, they're saying this is new tech for this specific mechanic. And I don't know if he was talking about in the interview if it was the last time they had actual new tech implemented, but he was talking back in Mist of Pandaria. I forgot what fight, but they had like being able to position and move players. To control that, I think he was talking about a pull-in effect.
Wasn't that the Shaw thing for that 4 boss deal?
Yes, I think it was. So it's they're very creative with the technology that they've had, but whenever they're able to open up this new stuff, it just kind of opens the doors for future encounters, which is really neat.
Right. And
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think it's just a cool thing because we're always so hyper focused on our specific role and maxing that out. Like, I mean, everyone wants to play the game well, whether you're DPSing, you want to top the charge, whether you're tanking, you want to, take the least amount, mitigate the most, or top the healing meters or whatever. But whenever they can interject these weird roles that are outside of that, where if you don't have the teamwork, you're going to fail. I mean, I guess there's in Emerald Nightmare, you had Mythic Dragons where you had that 5-man team hopping to portal, and you relied on them. Not everyone knew what was going on in there, but if they didn't do their job, it was over. You know, it wasn't, and that's kind of an interesting scenario. But I mean, like, even harkening back to like Lady Vash, where you had your section, you had your like teams passing the corrupted, what was it, core something? Anyways, I don't remember, but
like that.
But where people have specific responsibilities to take care of something that will kill everyone, but it necessarily has nothing to do with DPSing or healing or whatever. You just have to take care of something.
Getting those eggs on that bird boss and for what raid was that? God, I can't even remember. Anyway, so
there's the orb, passing around the orb to get the people wind to debuff before everyone gets blown off of.
Yeah. Like stuff like that. Like it adds some excitement to the Iskar.
Yes.
Right?
That's it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it just adds more excitement, but even those things, it's like almost individual situations. And so it'll be interesting to see, especially with him talking about it so much, if they do actually if there's more encounters where the entire raid group is split up into different roles. Like, you guys are handling this, you guys are handling this, make sure that this happens. And it just adds some more diversity to the fights instead of just, hey, dodge some stuff and kill them.
Yeah, and they do that. They've done that, I think, every expansion, since the start. So we should probably see some more of that stuff. So
more though.
Right. But it'll be fun. And if you guys really want to see more developer interviews, like you're like, well, I saw all the Morgan Bay interviews. Of course I did. I'm on top of things. There's actually a developer update tomorrow on Twitch with Paul Cubitt, and he's going to be answering questions on 725 with like Black Temple Time Walking and the Deaths of Chromie and Trial of Style and stuff like that. So he'll be on with Lore, and hopefully they'll have a camera ready. I was watching the Sloot stream, which was like the first stream, and they had a camera for the first 5 seconds, and then it died. This is Blizzard Entertainment. They had a camera to stream, and then it died, and they didn't have a replacement camera. This is Blizzard. Come on, Lore. You should be able to handle this. I don't know. I was watching
been thrown down.
Yeah, I was watching the Sloot interview, and I'm like, he actually had threw up a little card with this MS Paint thing with Morgan in the front and then Lore in the back, and you could tell it was just stick figures, but you could tell it was Lore because he had all the hair. So it was really funny. Okay, so class mounts. Tattva, did you get your class mount?
I actually didn't yet.
No. I got mine today. So I guess I'm the only one.
You love it?
I guess I'm the only one who got it, so therefore I get the big applause today. And I also get this.
Dork of the Week.
There we go. So, because I got it on the first day. Yay! But yes, I have the lunar wing mount, which is a giant owl that looks like Wilford Brimley. And yes, so there. And I think the only thing you can say about that is diabetes. That's his phrase. Okay. But all the class mounts are out now, and I know that people are either enjoying them or lamenting them, but there is a story that goes along with it, quest line and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun. Really think that people should check it out. And it wasn't tough, but it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like for druids, our flight was taken from us. So, and we had to get it back.
After you earned it, they took it away.
They just took it away. They did the absolute worst WoW thing ever. They just took away our flight, man. We had to go get it back. So I got it back. Yep.
Okay.
And then they gave me the owl mount. So that's cool.
Did you get any tints, different tints of your owl mount?
Not yet. No, I didn't go that far. I had some things to do today. So but I got the main thing. I figured that this week I'll work on getting the tints and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what they exactly look like, but I'm willing to check it out. So it'll be good. But I've been seeing pictures of all the other mounts. They all look pretty cool. The hunter mount looks pretty cool. I like that one. Mage mount, I hear varying tales of. I like it. I don't like it. And same thing for the priest mount, John. Just so you know.
So good.
Oh, John's here. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Okay.
I just thought I thought I would include you. I know that you're playing more Overwatch and Hearthstone these days. So
have you guys seen the Warcraft movie?
What?
Yeah.
They finally did this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
They
I honestly I hate. Can I just chime in for a second, Pat, and just say I hate how much I haven't been playing WoW.
Sure.
I absolutely hate it. And when I knew I was coming back on this show, I like a visible guilt came over me that I wasn't playing WoW. You can ask Katie.
Sure.
I couldn't sleep last night. I'm like, I haven't played WoW. I haven't played WoW in forever. I'm just a blubbering idiot at this point. And she goes, "Yeah, you are. Shut up and go to bed."
Right.
So
right. And if you weren't feeling behind enough, there's a new achievement that you can get in World of Warcraft. It's called Power Ascended. And so
yep.
Probably won't get it.
Once you get that, you can unlock pets and additional class mount tints and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. So if you weren't feeling behind enough, there you go. Now maybe you are.
Thanks, Pat.
I will say though, and Snookums pointed it out, the shaman mount is the coolest mount.
Yep.
Out of all of them.
I'm trying for that next. I'm gonna try for that next, but I got a long way to go. I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do for that. So, because I am nowhere.
For Shakira.
Yeah, for Shakira. Yes, and I don't have the class order hall stuff, all the quests and stuff like that. I don't think I've really done many, which is probably okay, but it'll just take me a while. But I definitely want the shaman mount. That shaman mount looks cool. Yeah. You're riding an elemental, for crying out loud. How can that not be cool? It's got to be cool. All right. Anything else in WoW, guys? Because I want to include John. So. I kind of want to include John in on the conversation. So maybe we should go to Overwatch.
Oh, this is my jam.
That's right. Johnny, what's been going on with Overwatch lately?
Oh, there has been things going on.
Yes, there have.
So first, if you are playing Overwatch or looking to play Overwatch, this weekend would be an awesome time to do that because it will be a double XP weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
So if you've got an ult, you need to get to 25 so you can start playing competitive, or you just need to play more and get more loots and loot boxes before the anniversary event ends on June 12th.
Right.
Make sure to jump on this weekend. It starts Friday night, I believe. That's number one. Numero dos, Horizon Lunar Colony, the new 2CP map is live on the PTR. And it's really cool. And the lore behind it is really cool too. Apparently, the prevailing theory is that basically there was a blog post a couple of days before they announced the new map. And there were two subjects from the Horizon Lunar Colony missing. Winston,
right?
Everybody's favorite monkey scientist.
Yep.
And a smaller specimen, that's all we know, named Hammond.
Right. We talked about this a little bit last week, just so you know.
Okay, you did. Sorry, I was trying to look at the
we kind of
notes
touched
and I didn't
base
see
on the Hammond thing.
You did. You didn't hit lunar quality, but you did hit. So yeah. So anyways, still nothing new on that.
Okay.
So
all right,
I'll move on from there.
All right.
But
that does sound cool. And okay, so now what do you think Hammond is? What do you think Hammond is, John?
I don't want, I can tell you what I don't want him to be. I don't want him to be a smaller, like a smaller animal. Like that's the prevailing opinion is he's like a chimp or a small ape. And I'm like,
no,
that feels really redundant of just like Winston.
Dude, I want him to be a raccoon. And say amazing. I'm gonna
start saying goodbye again so that my computer crashes.
Amazing quippy things just before blasting the hell out of something. So he'll, oh yeah, and then he'll take a big huge gun and blast it at people.
And then Groot will show up,
and then Groot will show up, and I mean it's the whole thing. He walks around with a tiny little tree.
Unsubscribe.
Yep.
I heard Bradley Cooper was on Blizzard campus a few months ago. So
see, it's all adding up. Yep. Thanks, buddy.
If there's people out there listening to the audio of this, and you want to actually visually see Johnny Boy die a little inside over the course of like 2 minutes,
right?
It's a good time.
Yeah,
it's a good time to look.
He thought he didn't want another small monkey or ape. What he really doesn't want is a raccoon.
Right.
We found out.
Right.
Oh,
What do you want it to be? Like a talking telephone? Ooh. Like what?
That'd be great. Like a
small animal.
Like a talking candelabra that says, be our guest or something like that.
Geico Gecko.
Bonjour.
Right. Bonjour. Be our guest.
I would be okay with that. I would be okay with a talking clock voiced by Sir Ian McKellen or a candlestick voiced by that other guy.
Yep. By the other
McGregor.
guy. Yep. So please be one or the other. God, I really do kind of want that now. Just to see you break. Just to see you break inside. And like shatter and then fall to the ground. Just a little bit. Just a little. All right, John, let's move past this though. We have to move past this. And I'm not sure that you ever will, but I think for the sake of the show, we should probably move on. What else has been going on with Overwatch?
Well, unlike other Blizzard games, Overwatch believes in this thing called balance. And so, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Right. Sorry. My inner Reddit troll came out there for a second.
It's all right.
And but we do have some new balance changes on the PTR, and there have been two pretty we'll say two pretty major ones. The first one is Roadhog has his clip increased from 4 to 5, but his damage reduced by 1/3, but his firing rate increased by essentially 1/3, 30%, so not quite 1/3. So his overall damage output is about the same, about net even. But Roadhog could do something very awesome at lower elos and kind of dumb at higher elos, and that would be hook, shoot, melee, basically one shot kill. Basically those one shot mechanics is what led us to LFR and WoW. And
oh boy.
Boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Anyways,
the Reddit troll is in full bloom right now. So
you had to bring up Rocket Raccoon, man. It's on you.
Yeah, John, they believe in balancing. It only took him a year to change this.
I mean, it only took a year of changes for this to be a problem, though. Like when you look at all the things that didn't become a problem until we started seeing like one tank metas and things like that made his hook so decisive. And the first death in any team fight is so important. You'll notice if you watched any of the contenders or any of Apex, Roadhog is hardly seeing any play at competitive levels. This is not a change to get Roadhog out of this broken thing for competitive players. it is when you go on Reddit or the forums, or you go to your favorite Overwatch podcast and say, help, I'm stuck in gold. How do I get to diamond or masters? They'll tell you, play one hero. And then you go, well, which hero should I play? And more often than not, they're going to say Roadhog, because a good Roadhog decides games. If you're good at positioning with him and you can land that hook, it's just donezo. So that's like where these changes come in. But believe it or not, I don't think that this change alone is actually, it's not enough to make him unviable in the situations that he's already used in. It does mean that his one-shot mechanic is less consistent, but even then, like, you just have to change where you're shooting depending on the heroes. But what it does do is, because his damage is reduced and his pellets, each individual pellet does a small amount of damage, with armor heroes like Diva, it's a big nerf. In some cases, it's a nerf of about 48% damage output.
Wow.
And so it's not that the unintended consequence, I guess, the indirect consequence of the Roadhog nerf.
Roadhoff
is a Roadhog.
Why did Hasselhoff
Roadhog
just pop into my...
Okay.
Right.
I mean, mine too. I was going for, yeah. So Roadhog is like, you're going to see probably a rise in Diva now as that second tank, because she has so much armor, and Roadhog doesn't do as well against armor anymore because of the amount of damage each pellet does. With armor, you take 5% or 50% less damage per pellet for armor, or -5. Whatever it ends up, based on if it's over 10 or under 10 damage. I know that's getting really like theory crafty, but that's a big change.
Right.
That's yeah, I kind of went theory crafty on there. When I landed in simulation craft on my Windows XP from 2012. Sorry.
Just got to push up the glasses and then.
But another major change is actually to Reaper, one of my favorite heroes recently. He no longer has I want to call them soul stones, but that's not what they are. But you know, the little soul orbs or whatever they are, his health orbs.
Yep.
They're removing those completely.
Whoa.
And instead now, whenever he deals damage, he gets 20% of that back in health.
Oh,
so
weird. So it's very warlocky now. It's not.
Yeah, it's life drain type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
So, and the rationale behind it was when it really didn't help you in a situation that you were favored in, and it really didn't help you in a situation where you were unfavored in, because you're not killing things in an unfavored situation. So it's only in those marginal fights that these health orbs became an actual thing. So now it's more even, and it also makes him an even more viable counter to tanks, because the more damage he's doing per shot, the more he's getting back in health. So
what does that do for his ult?
Yes.
That's huge, right?
You're exactly right. Like a nano boosted Reaper ult back in the Beyblade days is, if you're dying from that, you're not doing damage to him. So on the PTR, the time I've spent playing it, and I've tried to watch pros playing it, it feels strong, but I don't think until it goes live and we see it in tournament will we see it unlocked to its true potential. But what it does mean is that it reinforces a little bit more of the 1 and 2 tank compositions rather than the 2, 3, and even in some cases 4 tank compositions that we've been seeing, where you just get 3 meaty tanks and like a meaty DPS, and then like a Zenyatta and a full healer like an Ana or a Lucio or a Mercy, and get this almost unkillable comp unless you're playing at the highest competitive levels.
Right.
And that's good too, because that mechanic,
Overwatch,
lifesteal mechanics are going to be a lot easier to balance as well. for future patches if it comes out too strong, because it's just number tweaks instead of having to balance the options between having to collect the orbs, which is nice.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. So
right.
it's an interesting time. We only get major patches from Overwatch maybe once a month, and they change it a lot and iterate it a lot in those times. So we might see, I don't think we'll see the health orbs come back. I think they like that change, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see tweaks to that 20%. And the Roadhog changes, I think, will stay.
Cool. Very cool. Anything else going on in Overwatch? Is that it?
Not except for the eSports stuff, which I know we're going to talk about later.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about Heroes of the Storm.
Night elves are the right elves.
Sure. Gizmo, we have a new hero, don't we?
We do.
What's going on?
So
what's the new hero? Tell us about that.
Malthael was announced from Diablo 3, which Reaper of Souls. And they did one of their little teasers kind of last week. It was 3 candles, just a gift that were lit. Then one of the candles went out, 2 of the candles went out, and then he was finally announced. But he is going to be a very interesting hero. He has lifesteal and kind of damage over time. It's going to be kind of a sustained damage. I haven't had a chance to test him on the PTR yet, but I've watched a lot of videos. And some very, very interesting mechanics. It feels like he probably, I mean, you don't play him in Diablo, but it feels probably like he should play or looks. But he's not going to have a lot of crowd control, burst damage, poke damage, or anything like that. It's just going to be really sustained and probably punish a lot of the duo tank metas that we've seen going around right now, which is really nice. So be looking for him. He is in the PTR right now that you can try. So we'll probably see him released a week from today, next Tuesday. But John, let me introduce you to this game called Heroes of the Storm that doesn't do balance patches once a month. They do them pretty much once a week. So
right.
And of course there are some more coming out. They've done a few pretty darn big reworks. Thrall had one of the oldest talent kits in the game, and now he's pretty much one giant quest. This is like you're getting a level 1 orc, fresh new orc coming out, and
work.
Is
that guy?
my co-host my co-host TBK said your quest log is just full of quests that you're not gonna be able to keep track of. I don't know, I haven't tried them out yet. Looks crazy. I've heard good things. The quest talents, people really like them. Gives you they're generally pretty strong, and it really rewards the higher level players that are able to complete the quest faster, which is always nice. And then Malfurion got some big changes as well. But the kind of the big thing that happened in this patch is Bolt of the Storm was removed from a majority of the heroes.
Wow.
It's still on a few, but that of course is the teleport level 20 talent. And they're just trying to make some changes to it here to they want it to be used more offensively and make sure it kind of fits in with the hero itself. Like Raynor, there's no reason that dude should be teleporting. Doesn't fit into the fantasy.
Sure. Well, hold on a sec. They want fantasy within our fantasy of all these fantasies colliding together. Come on.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy.
No, it's strange.
But they reduced the range of it by 20%, thinking that that's going to help make it still useful in a lot of offensive situations, but not so much on the escape. And then they are also working on kind of taking cleanse, not necessarily out of the game, but the cleanse talent itself. They're wanting to work it into more character abilities to feel unique for each individual character, like Karazim or Uther now.
Sure.
So we'll be looking at that. One of the things I didn't mention about Malthael is, I don't know, a lot of you people might have remembered a talent called Resurgence of the Storm, which was level 20, where you could just come back as soon as you were dead, and people hated it. Well, Malthael has it.
So now you can hate that. Everybody can hate that now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It does, it fits into his fantasy. He has death. He can't kill death.
Sure.
And it's on 180-second cooldown, and it's activatable. So you don't have
nice.
to use it, which is kind of an interesting spin on there. And then the other big thing to come out, we had a new in development video.
Yep.
Featuring Malthael, his alternate skin, and some of the coolest stuff to be put in the game. I've been wanting these skins for a really long time. They're summer skins. We got Tychus with a super soaker. We got Tracer with a super soaker. We have Tychus with swim trunks.
Nice.
And then we have Tychus with Speedo. And I think the rating of this game just went up to mature audiences.
I was going to say, nobody needs that. Nobody needs that in a video game. Come on.
I have, they had to have known. This didn't just slip through. I can't even talk about it. I'm blushing.
It's a good thing.
Just watch the in development video.
It's a good thing you have a beard because nobody can tell that you're blushing. But yeah. All right. Yep.
I'm excited for the surfboard mounts. That's going to be awesome.
Yes,
that will be awesome.
It is. So we'll see. It sounds like it's probably going to be they're going to have a summer event with potentially summer themed loot crates. We'll see on that kind of how that works. This will be the first time since moving to the 2.0 progression system.
I tell you, the smartest thing that they ever did was go to loot crates and do all the stuff that they were doing with Overwatch. I mean, that is one of the smartest things that they've done with that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Heroes 2.0 is amazing how much loot you get.
It is, and
so cool.
I think they did the Blizzard thing, except they did it to their own game. They took the Overwatch loot system and they made it better. And I think Overwatch needs to kind of take a look at theirs and possibly make it better. So we'll, take a look for those skins there, and watch the in development video at your own risk.
Right.
We'll say that.
And as a bonus, I'm also going to tag this in here.
Which doctor? This doctor.
Because, and this is all kind of going into Heroes of the Storm as well, because because of the Malthael hero, they are also doing something with D3, right?
Correct.
What's going on?
Yeah, so this is another crossover. So they've done the Overwatch, they've done the WoW. This is going to be another Diablo crossover. So this is just going to run from June 13th through the 26th. And if you play 15 games with a friend in any of the game modes, then you are going to receive some rewards for Heroes of the Storm. You're going to get Leoric's Phantom and 1 epic loot chest. For Diablo 3 on PC, you're going to get Ghost Kerrigan wings. So
cool.
It doesn't sound like there's going to be anything for console Diablo. I don't know if they can cross that over or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they can either. No, I wouldn't think so. But
yeah,
doesn't really matter. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you can get for Diablo, so that's pretty awesome. And I have a theory that they are just going to keep on doing this. They are going to keep on just having events between Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch. I mean, like all the different games, right? So no matter what, every week there's going to be an event going on, because this starts the 13th. When does the Overwatch event end, John?
The 12th.
Right. So there you go. So now you have another event, and it's on Heroes of the Storm that crosses over to Diablo, so then you can get that stuff. And then after the 26th, I'm sure that there will be something else coming out. So what's up, John?
I forgot to say this. You know that
you could just bust in. No.
I like to raise my hand.
Okay. All right.
You know that Officer Diva skin that we ground out for weeks and weeks on end?
Yeah.
It's available in normal Overwatch loot boxes now. So
awesome.
You did all that work for nothing, you suckers.
It's fun work.
Was that harsh?
It's fun work.
I would the Oni Genji skin too is also in regular loot boxes. So
that one feels,
I felt really bad because I didn't do the Officer Diva or any of the heroes reward stuff because we haven't had drinking and swearing in 9 years. And because we haven't, that's my heroes time, Pat, is drinking and swearing.
We've been on
so
hiatus.
When that doesn't happen.
We've been on hiatus. We've been busy, and then it got nice out. And when you're in Minnesota and it's summer and it's nice out, you go outside. This is what happens because you know that in January you're going to be inside. So
I'm from Minnesota, and I have spent the first 27 years of my life perfecting inside.
Right. And so,
look at my palace, my 12 by 12 palace.
Right.
I have a bathroom right there.
That's awesome.
That Katie doesn't get access to. I mean, she can go if she wants, I guess, but I wouldn't go in there.
Right. So yeah, but it is kind of one of those things where it's just like, hey, you know what? No, summer hits and it's like, I can't commit to doing every Friday night. Because if it's nice out, I'm going to go out with friends and go on a tour of the town. Because in January, you don't get anything.
You're doing real life drinking and swearing.
Right.
It's never nice outside where I'm at right now, John. So if you need to get some heroes time in, which I know you really want some, hit me up.
He's the other way because he's in Florida. So, summertime is miserable down there.
It's real
according to my weather app, it's been beautiful for like the last 9 days. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't.
I'm in that dark room.
I'm like, I have a black blanket over my window and I keep the shades shut 24/7 so it doesn't make my air conditioner, God's gift to man, work harder. So
right.
Yeah.
Anyways. I get it. All right, we should shift gears again, and let's bring John back into the conversation with a little bit of well met.
I just heard at least 800 people facepalm when they heard that I'm talking again. So,
we gotta go through this stuff. Hearthstone. I've been playing a lot of my my quest rogue and my mid-range hunter. It's going
good for you, Pat.
It's
These
going
aren't like stupid like. It's funny because Murloc Paladin is actually one of the best decks in the game right now, and you're not playing. It's like the only time you're not playing.
I have
awful deck.
I have it, and I have been tweaking it. And every once in a while, when the quests are just right, I will play it for sure. They actually came out with a video. They actually came out. There was another live action video that came out with. Yeah, it was like a bunch of different things. There was one where it was all these different decks from the latest expansion, and Quest Rogue was one of them, and I can't remember what it was, like Face Hunter and all this kind of stuff. I've been watching all these cool community videos about Hearthstone.
Different. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a Gul'dan one, and I mean that's always kind of popping up on the launcher, but.
Yeah, they have their new Hearthstone Mulligans series.
Right.
Where it's like an episode of Office Space, but Hearthstone related.
Right.
There was one about a copier not working, which wasn't really funny. But the second one was about Shotgun, where it's Gul'dan and Uther and the normal guy, the Jim Halpert of these episodes, I guess, for the Office fans out there. Is like, who wants shotgun? And Gul'dan's like, what shotgun? He's like, well, you just say it, and you get to sit in the front seat. And Uther's like, what kind of sorcery is this? And so it's they go all back and forth, and then Jaina gets it.
Right, of course.
So
that's what always happens.
It was a good time.
So let's move.
Uther gets it.
Let's move on to Hearthstone, though, the actual game part of the game. And what's been happening with Hearthstone lately?
So there's one we got actually, if Heroes, tests and updates weekly and Overwatch monthly, Hearthstone is on like the quarterly to yearly basis.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like new features. But we got a patch with some new features. The first one is deck importing and exporting. So now there's something called strings, and it almost looks like if you've ever set up weak auras, you get that long string of text.
Yep.
Kind of get the same thing here. And you copy it and you hit create a new deck, and it automatically, it's like, hey, you have a string copied. Even on mobile, it works so great. And it's like, you have this thing copied. Do you want to make this deck? And you're like, yeah, I do. And you make this deck. So net decking just came a lot easier. And that's why Pat now plays real viable decks in the game of Hearthstone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's there. And you can export doing basically the exact same thing. Hit export, copy string, and you can post it to wherever you would like.
Right.
So that's there. They also changed it so all your quests can be done with your friends.
Yep.
And so, so if you need to get the 75 Murloc quest and you're not going to play Murloc,
the 50
whatever
shaman,
on ladder.
The 50 shaman cards was tough. That one was tough. I had to build a whole deck. I built a whole deck with just shaman cards, so then I just played. Right?
Died by turn 3. Took you 80 games.
I was sitting at level 19 or 20 or whatever, so I wasn't really too concerned about win-loss ratio on that one. So it was just like,
get this quest
out
you sound like
a
winner right now, Pat.
Yep. Sometimes you do the quest just to do the quest.
Right. So that's there, which is cool. But my favorite feature is non-golden and golden cards now stack when you create a deck. So
cool.
They used to take up 2 slots. So if you had a card and one was golden, one wasn't, it took up 2 slots on your deck list. Now it's just combined into one, which is great. Awesome. So that's there.
Cool.
Kripparian also disenchanted 660,620 dust.
I saw that
worth of cards.
I saw that, and he killed the game for
cards
himself.
Worth of dust. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
And it
was pretty.
It wasn't
unamazing.
as magical. They've been building this up for a long time.
Yeah.
And even Ben Brode has been on the record of saying, like, when we're developing, some fringe things we're working on is like, Kripparian has an insane amount. Is this going to break our game? Is it going to break the servers? It didn't. It just like broke his game, and then boom, he now has.
Yeah, he just had to restart.
Dust.
He just had to restart it, and then it was like, oh nope, it's all there. Okay, that was very unmoving. It was not very, very fun at all. But still, that's a lot of dust that he got.
It's a lot of dust.
So
the idea used to be is he wanted an all gold collection. Right. And the smart thing at the time, and this was at the end of beta, they were nerfing and buffing cards on a monthly basis. And whenever they make a change to a card, they make its disenchant value full, so you can get another card of that rarity. So if you do it and it's not nerfed or buffed, you basically get like 20% of the card's actual value. So it's not in your best interest to do that if there's another better option. But after the game went live, they only updated, once every couple months to a year. And so like that stopped being a viable option. So he's like, whatever, it's time. Like his story for like why it's time now is just kind of like,
just because it is. Because it is.
It is.
Yep.
I can tell.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Hey, we should move on to eSports.
Let's roll.
Let's do it. So first up, let's talk HGC. What do you say? Yes.
Yeah.
You want to talk HGC?
All right.
What's going on?
I do. So we have the mid-season brawl coming up here, which is going to be the first kind of worldwide tournament since the HGC has been founded. And that is going to be going from June 10th through the 20th. So it's going to start this Saturday, and this is in Sweden. So kind of check the times where it's going to start for you. For me on Saturday, it's going to start, I think, at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's actually not too bad of viewing for a weekend when it's hot in Florida.
Right.
To check that out. So it's kind of a weird bracket, and it's going to be going for a little bit here. But this is, again, the chance to see what region's going to come out on top, and hopefully NA not getting last. We'll see. But I'm thinking, my quick prediction is, of course, Korea going to be first, Europe second, NA third, China fourth, as far as the main regions, kind of where their pecking order is going to be. So, yeah, a lot of changes with heroes. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what heroes are picked, but make sure you guys check that out. First place is $100,000 prize, second $50,000, and third $20,000.
Awesome.
We of course had, the Crucible a few weeks ago to mix up what's going to happen in the second half of HGC. And then also on the NA side, which is really important here, Team 8 finally got picked up. And they got a really interesting sponsorship, Roll20 eSports. So Roll20, I believe, makes a virtual tabletop for tabletop games.
Sure.
And they're really big fans of heroes in the HGC. Yep. So they hopped in and finally picked up Team 8.
And these guys had a number in their name, and they said, you know what? That's good enough. Let's just jump in.
Yeah.
And now they're now they're Team 28. No, they're not.
Yep. No, they're Roll20 now. So
right.
It's an interesting team name, but you know what? I'm glad those guys got a sponsorship. They deserved it.
Yeah, cool. And John, what's going on with Overwatch?
This is so exciting, Pat. We've been waiting for Overwatch League stuff for since BlizzCon, honestly. Right. And we still don't have it. We do have Overwatch Contenders League, and Overwatch Contenders League is the development league for Overwatch League.
Yep.
And we have season 0. So this is the beta season going on. The NA portion just finished, and we have the top 16 teams there, and it was some really great games. The studio that they're using is called Carbon Entertainment, which is actually based here in Denver. I actually will be there for a few days, and I actually might be spectating some of the games. So I might be one of the spectators. Maybe, fingers crossed. It would be really cool.
Very cool.
And so the casting has been off the charts. Charts. I just said charts.
That's something completely different.
off the charts. The charts.
Oh man.
And they basically poached Monte Cristo and Doa, who were like the premier casters from League of Legends, moved over to Overwatch and did Apex in South Korea for the first 2 seasons of that, before they announced they're coming back to the United States to be the kind of main casters for Overwatch League. And one of our really good friends of the show, I believe the first guest we had on the Payload, Jamerson, Jet Set Jamerson, is going to be another one of the casters. So they've got like an amazing setup there. We're really excited. There were some awesome names. So the thing about Overwatch Season 0 is it's an completely open bracket. So NA had like 660 teams signed up, and in a day they had to whittle it down to the top 8, which was kind of amazing. And then they did the same thing the next day. And EU has even more. There are over 1,000 teams now signed up for
That's crazy,
for Overwatch Contenders. For Season 1, they're going to make it so that all players need to be at least Masters ranked or higher to compete. So like right now, like us 4 and Sharku and Tovo can all like put together a team and we can go compete. But, we won't do very good because Pat wants to play Junkrat all the time.
Well,
but,
Junkrat's great. Or Diva, actually. Diva would be probably my main.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, we wouldn't win. So we wouldn't win. We'd maybe get paired against another gold team, and we could go through that. But going forward, they won't have that. And so it's been an awesome experience, and we're finally starting to see the very early iterations up into Overwatch League, which is pretty neat.
That's pretty cool. I definitely like that. Hey, and if you are into WoW esports, and why wouldn't you be? There's actually something new and something cool for those guys that really like WoW esports, and that is on the World of Warcraft website. They now have a tab for esports, so you can actually check out the entire schedule. Like this weekend is Copa America opening phase on Friday, and then North America Cup number 3 on Saturday. And so you can go check those out this weekend. So
Yeah.
and then the full schedule, which is really cool. I'm glad that they're finally stepping up on the esports stuff with WoW, because they like underplay it, I think, a little too much. And I don't know, maybe it's because they've had some issues with PvP in the past and whatever, but at the same time, the competition's still good. So
yeah, and it's not just the WoW esports. I mean, their esports in general, the websites have been getting some huge upgrades, like the HGC did for the start of HGC. It's amazing with their schedule, but they also actually just added team pages now. It's not perfect. Preferably, they would add like a team link up top where you can pull down and pick your team. But right now, if you click on like any of the teams in the schedule, it'll bring up the roster, so some statistics and their upcoming schedule and stuff, which is really neat.
Good. Yeah, and I'm so happy that everybody's getting like more information out there, and with their different websites and different communication arrays and whatnots. So that's good. Let's see, what else? Anything else here, fellas? I think that's it.
I think that about does it.
I think that does it. So why don't we play this thing? Boom. There it is. And we'll wrap up the show. First of all, I would like for you fellas to tell us what you're up to this week and how people can reach you. Tattva, are you doing anything special this week? Anything big?
We're just trying to kill Star Augur and then
right on.
Moving on with that business.
Right on. And people
Not too much.
And people can follow you on Twitter at LOS_gaming, as always.
Correct.
And LOS Gaming Show on YouTube, right? So,
Yes.
So that's all good. Gizmo, how about you, buddy? You got another show tomorrow? You got the Lords of the Storm tomorrow?
Yes, we do. We're going to be diving probably, fairly deep into some of the PTR changes, since there were some big changes there. That'll be tomorrow night, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central. If you want to check that out on Twitch at Lords of the Storm, as well as Twitter. You can find myself on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all those things at Gizmo Zord.
Very cool. Johnny?
Yes.
So what do you got?
Okay, great.
What's coming up?
You go over a question. So we've got the Well Meta is actually tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, so that's Wednesday at twitch.tv/BlizzPro. We had to reschedule. The Payload is Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/BlizzPro. And please come hang out with me on my stream, twitch.tv/KickTripod and twitter.com/KickTripod. I'm streaming now almost like 40 hours a week again.
Wow.
So now that I moved back in,
awesome.
I'm back into streaming, 4 to 7 hours a day, and then the podcasts in the evening. So I'd love to hang out, get to know you, and we can make fun of how bad my WoW commentary is on this specific episode of the podcast.
Right. And there's Gizmo's dog on the video screen. What's your dog's name?
Gracie.
Gracie?
It's my pug.
Oh, nice. I like it. And let's see. Oh, and Gizmo and I are going to be reformatting our computers this weekend. We will not be doing that online because you can't. I'm guessing. But you can always reach me at Pat Crane on Twitter. And don't forget, converttrade.com/party for the Kickstarter stuff. Please go over there and check it all out. And you can also talk to us anytime you want. You can start a conversation. You can jump in, whatever. You can email us at converttrade@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can join the Bazubu Guapo Nation by heading over to converttrade.com. That's where we have the show downloads. We have our Discord stuff over there as well. And that's another way you can reach us, all the Discord stuff, right? Let's see. The videos, the audios, the guild stuffs, and more are all over at converttrade.com. We are also on Apple Podcasts, I guess we have to call it now. It's no longer iTunes. It's Apple Podcasts. YouTube.
Really?
I've been playing with the new podcast app. I like it.
iHeartRadio, all that kind of good stuff, yeah. And with the stuff that's going on over at WWDC this week, it's It's looking kind of cool. So there. Convert to Raid is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends over at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. Please. Cough. It's very dry in the studio. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you, fellas, for coming on, as always. Thank you, chat room, for being here and piping in as you are wont to do. And thank you guys, wherever you are, for picking up the show, listening to it, and getting this far. Congratulations, you're a winner! Yeah! So, there. That's going to be it for the show. For all the guys on Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye!